Hello and welcome to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be showing you how I made this built up neckline on a kimono short bubu top with side drawstrings. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. If this is your first time here, kindly click on the subscribe button and also the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. So first I have my fabric here. I folded it into two right sides together. So the width of this fabric is 15 inches. So how I got this 15 inches is by adding my shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus my sleeve length. So I have two of these, one for the front and then a second one again for the back piece. The width is the same and they are both all on fold. So next I went ahead to mark 3 inches. We are going to mark this 3 inches down all the way across the top. This is the part that the built up collar is going to fall on. So I marked it on the other end as well, and then I used my ruler to connect the points together. So all of my measurements are going to now start from that line. For the width, as you can see, half of my shoulder measurement, I marked it, and then the remaining part is my sleeve length. So whatever your sleeve length is, that is what you will use to determine your width. So on that line again, I came down by 1 inch, and then on the folded end, I went in by 2.5 inches, and I connected in a slant like so to form the shoulder slope. Then from that slant, I went down by 10 inches. That will be my sleeve opening plus extra 1 inch for allowance. I came in by 1 inch at that point again, and I just slanted it out because I want it to be free, but I don't have enough fabric to work with. So I went ahead to make a curve like so, as you saw. And then next, now on the neckline, I came up by 2 inches from that line, and then we already marked 2.5 inches for the width, so I came up by 2 inches there as well. I ruled a line like so, and then I connected back to the shoulder like this. So in this corner, I'm going to mark 1/4 inch out and then blend into the 2 points like so. Next, now I came down by 1/2 inch on this point, and then I connected back to the other end like so. I also went ahead to blend it a bit so that it's not so straight, not like a straight line, a bit curved. And then I came in by 1/2 inches again like so, and then I connected it back into that curve like so. So this is basically it for the back. Next we are going to mark the front part of the neck. So from that line I came down by 8 inches, which is my neck depth, and I'm going to connect in a curve all the way like so, but not so deep, just a slight curve. I'm placing the part of the curved ruler that is not so curved. So this is it now. So one of these is for the front and then the other is for the back, and you will see how I cut it in a minute. So next, now I am cutting, starting with the back now all the way to the shoulder, and then the side seam. So after cutting this back now, we're going to take one piece out, which will now be our back piece, and then we'll go ahead now to cut the front neck line on the remaining piece. So this is it for the front. Next, it's time to cut the facing. So I have this piece of fabric. I am folding it into two. You can use the same Ankara piece if your fabric is enough. For me, I'm using this satin piece for my facing, so I folded it into two. I am matching the folded end of the facing piece to that of the Ankara, making sure that they're the same. And I also make sure that I have extra, I have about 3.5 inches from the neckline out. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut out the neck like so, following the same shape of the main top. And then at this point, I make sure that it's 3.5 inches that is there. I'll just connect it in a slant all the way to the end of this facing. Then I go ahead and cut. So next I will fold this fabric again, this time to cut the facing for the back piece. So the same thing we did for the front, I'm folding it into two. I'll make sure that the folded ends are matching both for the facing piece and the main fabric. And then from the neckline, I'll make sure I have 3.5 inches extra for the facing. And then for the rest of the neckline, I will just trace out the same shape. So for the back facing, you can make it as short as you want it to be. I just came down by 7 inches, but I connected in a V like so. Instead, you can just make it only the neckline part, which will still be fine, but I decided to just make it a bit wider. So this is it for the front and the back facing pieces. So the next step now is to iron interfacing on this part. So I used medium gum steel to iron on it, and then I'm also folding in 1/2 inch of allowance on both sides of the facing piece like so. So we're going to repeat the same thing for the front facing. This is the back facing. I'm also trimming off this excess after folding. Since it's in a V, it's normal to have that excess. So the same thing for the front facing, like I said, I also ironed medium weight gum stay on it, and I'm also going to fold in 1/2 inch on both sides of this facing. And then we're going to go now and join these two together on the shoulder. So placing them right sides together like so, we're going to go using 1/2 inch, go so round that shoulder part all the way up to the neckline. Then the same thing, we're going to do the same thing on the main fabric as well. Put the front piece right side facing up, and then put the back piece right side facing down. So this is right sides together. Then we're going to go so like so, using 1/2 inch all the way and to the other side as well. So after sewing, I went ahead to notch around the curved corner both on the main top and on the facing piece. Next now it's time to turn the neckline with the facing piece. So I'm placing them right sides together, making sure that they are matching on the shoulder seams, and then all the way like so. I'll just go so round using 1/2 inch, after which I turned it back to the wrong side, and then I ironed and also used hemming gum to hold it down in place. I also went ahead to increase the length of my front neckline because it was too small for me. I used 8 inches, so I added extra 2 inches. So this is it for now. Next, I will go now and hem the lower part. But before hemming the lower part, we need to finish the sleeve opening part of the top. So we're going to go fold it in also twice, fold in like 1/4 inch and then fold again another quarter, after which we'll fold the lower part and then sew the sides using 1 inch. So I'm cutting out these strips 1.5 inches wide. We're going to use them for the ties for the ruched part. So fold in 1/2 inch on one side, fold again 1/2 inch, and then fold again into two and sew it down. So we need about four, two on each side of the top. So after folding it down and joining the sides using 1 inch, this is what we have. So we are going to turn it to the side like so, and then open up the seam allowances like this. You can also iron it, and then from the down part I marked about 16 inches up. So the logic is that the ruching starts from the half length, so whatever your half length is, marked from there. So from that point I'll go sew down the allowances to the top like so on one side, and then the same for the opposite side. That way we have a casing for the ropes to pass through. So the same thing for this side as well. I just measured up 16 inches from the hem, and then I made a mark. So I'll just go sew it down, open it apart like that, and top stitch it down on both sides. After that, we have space for the ropes to pass through, so I'm using a safety pin to pass the ties through that space. Push it all the way up until we get to that point where we stopped sewing, and then pull it out. So taking out the safety pin now, I'm just going to adjust it so it sits properly, and then I will pin it in place. We are going to go back and stitch that down so it doesn't move. I will do the same for the opposite side. After that, our top is ready. So this is what we have so far. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Also, if you are yet to subscribe to our channel, kindly click on the subscribe button and also the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.